Hello dear learners, in our previous videos we have discussed the poem Who Has Seen the Wind. Also we have discussed its key themes and poetic devices. So in this video we are going to focus on some of the practice questions from the poem Who Has Seen the Wind. Let's get started. Before we proceed, I have a question for you. In our previous videos, we have already discussed there are certain forces in nature which are not visible with naked eyes. One of them is wind. If something is not visible to us, then how do we understand that they exist, or how do we feel them? Just think about it and note down some points about it. And now it's time for us to have a quick recap of the poem Who Has Seen the Wind. I'll quickly go through the poem and you please recall after me. Who has seen the wind? Neither I nor you. But when the leaves hang trembling, the wind is passing through. Who has seen the wind? Neither you nor I. But when the trees bow down their heads, the wind is passing by. This beautiful 8-line poem is written by Christina Rossetti. It's time for us to now focus on some of the questions. The first question is, why are the lines "Who has seen the wind" repeated in such a short poem? Well, is it emphasis on theme? The poetess wanted to emphasize the theme of the poem, which is invisibility, or rhythmic quality. The poet wants to give a rhythmic quality to the poem. Is it to maintain the structural balance of the poem? Poetic device. Has the poet used repetition as a poetic device? Or the basic purpose for using this repetition in such a short poem is to have engagement with the readers? It can be any one of these or all of these. So whenever you frame your answer, do take note of all these points and then frame your answer. It's time for us to now move on to the next question, which is, the poet sees the wind in trembling leaves and bowing trees. Have you ever felt the wind? Share examples of when you felt that the wind exists or the wind is blowing. Let's see some effects of the wind, which are autumn leaves, beach breeze, stormy weather, flying kites, wind chimes, and wind music. Now we'll have a look at all these effects of the wind in detail. Let's see. The effects of the wind can be seen by autumn leaves. Leaves dance in the air, rustling as the wind sweeps through, and we know the wind is blowing. Also, the effect of the wind can be seen in beach breeze. Ripples in the sand, tall grasses sway and waves crash, and we know the wind is blowing. Stormy weather. Wind bends trees, rattles windows, raindrops drive horizontally, and the wind is blowing. Kites soar and dance high in the sky, lifted by the wind, and we know the wind is blowing. Wind chimes. Wind chimes tinkle softly, creating gentle music with the wind's touch. Also, the wind music can be heard by wind's touch, and we know that the wind is blowing. Now let's see the next question, which is, why can't we see the wind? Well, the wind is invisible because it consists of moving air particles that are not visible to the naked eye. We can see its effects on other objects. Just now we discussed how we can see that wind is blowing. Now let's try to understand another question, which says, what makes the leaf tremble? The wind's movement causes the leaf to tremble. The movement of the air causes them to shake or quiver, creating a sense of wind's invisible presence. Now let's focus on another question, which says, Where can you see personification in the poem? We have discussed this poetic device in our previous video as well. Let's have a quick recap of it again. Personification is a literary device which gives human qualities to non-human things. In the lines, leaves hang trembling and trees bow down their heads, nature is given human-like quality, and also the nature has come alive and expressive. So, here is personification used in the poem in these two phrases. Now, let's try to understand line 2 of stanza 1 and line 2 of stanza 2. They are similar, or is there any difference between them? Let's focus on them. Line 2 of stanza 1 is neither I nor you. Again, line 2 of stanza 2 is neither you nor I. What do you think? Are they similar, or is there any difference between them? Well, both lines convey the same message that the speaker wants to convey, that neither the speaker nor the reader can see the wind. Why? Because wind is invisible force of nature, but only I and you are reversed. Maybe the poet has also deliberately, because she wanted to emphasize the theme that neither the speaker nor the reader is able to see the wind through naked eyes. Now let's try to understand the next question, which says, which poetic device is used in the phrase leaves hang trembling? As we can see that leaves are given human qualities, and when a non-living thing is given human attribute, that is known as personification. So, in these lines, leaves hang trembling, personification is used. Also, it creates a vivid mental picture of the delicate movement of the leaves. It's now time to understand the next question, which is identify the rhyme scheme of the poem Who Has Seen the Wind. We'll do this in detail. First of all, let's identify the rhyme scheme of stanza 1. When we have to focus on the rhyme scheme, we have to focus on the last word of each line. Also, we have to focus on the sound. So, sound of this is wind. We'll denote it with A. The last word for second line is you. Wind and you, they are separate. So, we'll denote it with a separate alphabet, which is B. The next is trembling. Wind, you, trembling. Is there any similarity? No. So, we'll denote it with C. And the last is through. You and through. Aren't they similar? Yes. So, we'll denote it with B. So, if we talk about the rhyme scheme of first stanza, it is A, B, C, B. Now, let's try to find out the rhyme scheme of second stanza. Again, we'll focus on the last word of each line. Wind. Who has seen the wind? Wind. We'll denote it with A. Next line is neither you nor I. So, it is I. We'll denote it with B. The third line is heads. Wind, I, heads. All three are separate, so we'll denote it with a separate alphabet. And the last one is by. I and by. Again, they are similar, so we'll denote it with B. So the rhyme scheme for stanza 2 is A, B, C, B. So now we have understood how to identify the rhyme scheme of the given lines in a poem. It's time for us to discuss another question, which says, discuss the poet's use of language and literary techniques to create the effect. Let's try to understand this question. The poet's simple yet evocative language vividly portrays the wind. Also, when the line, who has seen the wind, is repeated, it emphasizes and reinforces the theme of the poem, which is invisibility. Also, the personification brings nature to life by saying, leaves are trembling and the trees are bowing their heads. Also, we see that the poem's rhythm enhances its lyrical quality. So, dear students, we have understood the poem Who Has Seen the Wind, the poetic devices, also the theme, and now discuss some important questions as well. It's time for a task now. The task says, write a short poem or a paragraph describing another invisible force in nature. It can be gravity, magnetism, electricity, or any other thing that you can think of, but it should be invisible. Now, also you have to write how it affects the world around us. I am sure you now have completely understood the poem Who Has Seen the Wind and also the poetic devices, the theme, and the important questions. So, see you in the next video. Till then, happy learning!